Obviously, that's a fight where the fans are going to win, and it's going to be the biggest event of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
The boxing world is buzzing as rumors hit a fever pitch. If this actually happens, a Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight could be one of the wildest, most talked about events in recent memory. Jake recently stirred things up, revealing that he and his team are quietly working behind the scenes to make a fight with Tank a reality. According to Jake, early talks have already started, but he made it clear this would most likely be an exhibition match, not a full-blown pro bout.
We're in discussions with a lot of names: Gervonta Davis, Anthony Joshua, Badu Jack, Ryan Garcia, KSI, Tommy Fury. So there's a lot of people on the hit.
Yeah, no, we're working on it behind the scenes to make that happen, and obviously that's a fight where the fans are going to win, and it's going to be the biggest event of the year.
What weight would you fight him at?
We're working on it, but it'd be an exhibition most likely.
Jake also didn't miss the chance to throw some playful shade, teasing Tank's size with a height joke. He said he's more than ready to step in the ring, and added that if there are no height restrictions in boxing, then there's no reason he wouldn't fight Tank, whether it's an exhibition or something more.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Still, Jake admitted there's some unfinished business on Tank's end. He pointed out that before anything serious can happen between them, Gervonta needs to settle the score with Lamont Roach first.
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were...
Jake didn't hold back when he gave his thoughts on Tank's first fight against Lamont Roach. He said Tank didn't look like his usual self and claimed the fight felt more like a light sparring match than an all-out war. In Jake's eyes, Tank was lucky just to walk away with a draw.
Man, he got lucky as a draw. He did a good fight, though. I thought he won it, but man, he gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. But god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Meanwhile, Chris Aldry offered deeper insight into the rematch, noting that these two fighters go way back even to the amateur days. That means Tank already knows exactly what Lamont brings to the table. Aldry added that Lamont's name carries serious weight in boxing circles, and anyone in the sport knows how dangerous he truly is.
So, picking Lamont Roach, you're saying, oh, he's basically cherry picking is what you're alluding to. He has a history with the guy. They've been in the gym together. They sparred together. They fought in the amateurs. He knew the level that Lamont brought. Also, Lamont's one of those guys. You ask anybody in the boxing world, they know how good Lamont is, and it's like his record. You know, leading up to him getting to the title shot or getting his title win, it's kind of like, the Jamel Herring fight's really hard to forget. He struggled with some guys that you wouldn't expect him to, but he's really come into his own because the guy who was in the gym that everybody saw coming up has been realized now. So I don't think Gervonta Davis was handpicking an easy guy in Lamont Roach stylistically.
Adding to that, Chris noted that Tank's team isn't clueless. They know the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. He said the overall game plan was solid, but they might have underestimated Lamont because of their history. According to Chris, Tank and Roach are evenly matched, and that's what makes the whole situation even more compelling.
Gervonta's team's not dumb. They look at what this guy can do and where he can give him troubles, and it certainly worked out that way. Did they overlook him a little bit in terms of being like, I beat him back then. He struggled here and there. I'm just too good. I'm on a different level. I think that Lamont really stepped up. So I'm going. Gervonta's that good, but guess what? So's
Sean Porter's father, Kenny Porter, also weighed in. He described the rivalry as classic two fighters who rose through the same ranks, sharpened each other over the years, and now meet again as pros. Porter believes Tank's familiarity with Lamont led him to take Roach lightly, and that nearly cost him the fight.
That was definitely, in my opinion, just watching it, that was definitely a case of a guy growing up with a guy in the neighborhood, coming from the same city, same areas, not necessarily respect. You spar, we spar. We boys, we friends, we know each other. Do we hang out after the gym? Most fighters don't hang out after the gym anyway. No, but what do? They train together, they jump rope together, they run together, they put on their boxing shoes at the same time, they be talking a little bit. They might, hey, look at this on my phone, right? You get calm and relax with that person. So I think he underestimated the situation.
Sean Porter added that Tank needs to deliver a top-tier performance in the rematch, no excuses. He also said the first fight didn't get the respect it deserved, largely because Roach wasn't marketed properly. If the promotion had highlighted Lamont's backstory, the bout would have had way more hype and recognition.
Davis and Roach too. How do you think this plays out the second time?
You know, Davis is supposed to step up and show the level that he's on.
Right.
And I always say this about boxing. Boxing does itself a disservice by not promoting both sides. If you did a better job promoting Lamont Roach, people would have expected that fight to be what it ended up being. It was a good boxing match.
Right.
And in a lot of ways entertaining for multiple reasons. But, you know, I think if anything, we know that Lamont is on the road to Tank Davis. Now it's time for Tank to elevate. Do I think he can do that? I do. If he elevates, he should beat Lamont Roach. But when Lamont elevates, you know what I mean? I think it's going to be a good fight. The first one went the way I thought it was going to go.
Picking up from there, Jeff Mayweather highlighted how familiarity between fighters can completely shift a match. He said fans often forget how many hours these two have logged in shared gyms and sparring sessions. That kind of history can throw off predictions and totally change the way a fight plays out.
I think the one thing that is the most important thing that nobody's talking about is the fact that they did fight each other when they were young, growing up, when they were kids. And sometimes stuff like that actually has a real meaning on who's scared of who or whatever, you know. And I mean, I think that Roach went in there and proved that he wasn't scared of Tank at all.
Or do you think, hey, it doesn't matter how hard you punch if you can't land cleanly like he did in the first fight?
No, like I said, I think that what it goes back to is that they both fought each other, and that he's not scared of Tank. Like everybody else is terrified of Tank, and when Tank catches him, basically that's what it is. The fight is over with.
Mayweather also didn't sugarcoat his advice for Tank. He made it clear, if Davis wants to take control of the rematch, he needs to come out swinging and set the tone from the very first round.
This next fight, I think that if Tank doesn't start fast, be looking for whatever it is he's going to try to do within the first 5 rounds or 4 rounds, I think he's going to lose. I think that he's going to lose to Roach.
Continuing on that thought, Jeff pointed out one of Tank's biggest flaws: starting slow. He said Tank did the same thing in their first fight, and if he doesn't flip the switch early in the rematch, he's basically setting himself up to fall behind again.
I think that, I don't know if that's the right thing to say. I think the one thing is that he has to start faster. He has to be looking for a knockout in round 1, round 2, round 3, every round really. But those early rounds is where normally he just gives those rounds away. It's almost like you can be a guy that really not that great a fighter that will still end up winning rounds.
Next, Paulie Malignaggi shared his take on Lamont Roach's performance, saying that while some thought Roach overachieved, he didn't see it that way at all. Paulie emphasized that Roach is a seasoned pro with years of experience and a smart team. He credited Roach's camp for executing a strong strategy, which is why Lamont looked so sharp from round 1.
Still fights them, It's just Lamont came very prepared, overachieved on paper. Really, in reality, if we look at between the microscope, Lamont is a very experienced guy and has a lifetime in boxing and has a great disciplined team behind him. And they knew exactly how to approach this, and they approached it very, very well. So when it comes to this rematch, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, where is the rematch? Do we know where it's going to be? Is it in
Vegas?
I think it is Vegas, yes.
You're doing the rematch in Vegas. So just when I thought...
T-Mobile Arena.
Just when I thought
nice.
They couldn't get any dumber, they pull a move like...
On the flip side, Floyd Schofield is backing Tank Davis to win and, not just win, but stop Roach inside the distance. He said bringing back Tank's original coach was a smart move, claiming it'll help Tank lock in, stay focused, and bring back that dangerous edge he needs.
Tank probably solid in my opinion. I feel like him bringing Calvin back is a good thing, and I feel like he's gonna be more focused.
Richard Hitchens echoed some of that support, saying he actually had Tank winning the first time and was surprised by the draw. He made it clear that Tank's talent is undeniable. He can flat out fight. But Hitchens also gave credit where it's due, saying Lamont showed he belongs at the elite level.
Before the fight, I really thought, like, you know, I obviously thought Tank would win. I didn't think it would be a tough fight because, like I said, I just feel like, you know, I know what type of talent Tank come with, you feel me? Like, boy could fight, like, he really special. I done seen him in the gym, like, you know, like, he can fight. But Lamont was also somebody back in my head. Like, he been doing it for a minute too. Like, and I know when you've been doing it for a minute, that plays one key, but it also plays another key when a kid been doing it for a minute at the biggest stage and through their whole career. So what I mean by that, when a kid been competing at a high level when it was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, as a professional, getting to championships, they got a certain type of experience.
Hitchens went on to say the first fight was a tight, competitive war that deserved the draw it got. He admitted he didn't think Roach had done quite enough to take the win, but it was still a razor-close matchup from start to finish.
Did I think won the fight? I think it was a 50-50. I think it was a close fight. I mean, a draw. I say over and over. Like I don't think Lamont did enough to for them to raise his hand and take Tank reputation, everything that Tank built. Like,
and taking the knee, you felt that should have been called a knockdown?
Yes, it should have been called a knockdown for sure. I've never seen that in boxing, but you do gotta realize though, like in boxing, if a guy if something wrong with you, something getting your cup, something is up with you, how do you take a pause in the action?
In amateurs, you could do that.
Yeah, in amateurs, they do tell you that. It's on the rule, but take a step back and take a...
Hitchens also gave his take on the controversy, saying that Tank's knee bending should have been ruled a knockdown. He believes that single call could have shifted the scorecards and possibly changed the result.
They do tell you that, because if amateur stuff happen with your headgear or something, it could be a malfunction. You still gotta be able to know how to take a break. So, Tank probably thought, hold up, let me take a step back. Hold up, but...
Meanwhile, lightweight fighter Ingram, who's gone toe-to-toe with Tank in sparring, didn't hold back on his prediction. He believes Tank is going to end things definitively in the rematch. Ingram is certain that this time there will be no judges involved because Tank is knocking Roach out cold.
Who'd you see winning that fight?
This fight, Gervonta, I feel gonna knock him out.
That said, Ingram admitted that in their first bout, Tank probably didn't expect Roach to take his power so well. That surprise seemed to throw Tank off. But this time around, Ingram says Tank is coming in with a whole new mindset, more serious, more focused, and ready to dominate.
My personal opinion, I think I wouldn't say he took Roach, like Roach was a nobody, but I think he felt like he was already gonna knock Roach out, and if Roach couldn't handle his power, so I think that kind of surprised him. So I think this fight, he's gonna be more going in there, taking it a lot more serious, being more serious about it from the beginning of the rounds, because I feel like the way he was fighting at the end, if he had started fighting like that from the beginning, he probably would have then knocked Roach out.
Oscar De La Hoya also shared his thoughts, warning fans not to underestimate Lamont Roach. After watching him up close, Oscar said he realized how deceptively skilled Roach really is. He called Lamont the kind of fighter who can catch you slipping. When you least expect it tanned, that's exactly what makes him so dangerous.
Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making sure that he's in optimal conditions when he steps inside that squared circle. It's going to be a tough night for Roach, but you can never count him out. Watching him fight up close and personal, he's sneaky good, which means he can catch you at any time. He can land combinations sometimes at will without you even knowing it. He's that.
As for Roach, his mindset is clear. Heading into the rematch, he feels like a real champion now. He says he's fully locked in and plans to close the chapter for good. According to Roach, after sharing the ring once, he knows every move Tank's got, and this time, he's walking and ready to shut it down and leave no doubts.
Like a champ, like I'm supposed to. I've been in the gym, I've been ready. Time to ramp it up, kick it in gear, and get right to work.
I'm gonna ask you a quick question about the fight. The first fight with Tank. What did you see in that fight that can help you propel into the next fight?
I saw all I needed to see in that first fight. Trust me. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. Obviously, I didn't do enough to win, so I'm gonna make sure we do more than enough.
Paulie also highlighted a key contrast between the fighters. He said when you look at Lamont Roach, you won't see explosive speed or knockout power. There's nothing flashy that jumps off the screening like Gervonta Tank Davis, who's clearly a natural-born talent.
Gervonta had natural God-given talent. He had natural blazing speed, twitch muscles, and power. Lamont didn't have that God-given talent. But you know where they evened out the stakes? Because it was such a big difference, character and backbone. Lamont has a ton of character and backbone. Gervonta has none. So as soon as you push back on Gervonta Davis, he's looking for a way out. You push back on Lamont Roach, he's trying to get in your face. And that sort of evened the stakes. That was, if you watch the fight, that evened up the whole thing. That evened up the...
But Paulie added, what makes Lamont dangerous is how fundamentally sound he is. He sticks to the basics, stays sharp, and executes with precision. That level of discipline, Paulie says, is exactly why Roach is so tough to beat.
Like I said before, I think with Lamont, we always knew that it was all there. Yeah. Well, you looked at Lamont with a naked eye, though, and you say, okay, he doesn't have overabundant speed, doesn't have overabundant power. He's a solid fundamental fighter. He doesn't have any special, particular God-given talent that you can add to the technique there. But you know what he did have? He's an intelligent fighter with a solid game plan. He knew how to fight Gervonta because, like you said, they have a history. But again...
But a world of fighters who lack fundamentals, because we're in that world right now.
Yeah.
Those guys can stand out. And Lamont's that guy.
Well, Lamont has...
Meanwhile, Showbiz, the adult, shared a strong opinion. If Roach wants to truly capitalize on the fame he's earned, he has to win this rematch. Otherwise, he risks fading away. Showbiz warned that some fighters lose focus once they taste the spotlight, and he hopes Roach doesn't fall into that trap.
Roach, listen, bro. Brother, you can't be in silk pajamas after a draw. I'm concerned. This is what I want to say about champions. A lot of times, people see the challenger as the rough guy, as the hungry guy, and not the champion. But there's a reason why champions become champions. And I'm talking about reigning champions, because they are the ones with...
Coach Kenny Ellis also weighed in on the rematch, saying it'll likely look very different from the first fight. He predicted another tight battle, but this time, a cleaner and more technical one with both men landing sharp, accurate shots. Ellis believes both camps will come in with the right adjustments.
Like I said, they both top of the game. I see a competitive fight. Nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different. Lamar can do a little bit of everything, man. He always been like that since he was a kid, you know? Good fighter. Top amateur, top pro, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great pedigree, man. Great team of people, great family, you know? He can do a little bit of everything.
At the end of the day, whether or not Jake Paul ever steps into the ring with Tank, all eyes right now are on the rematch with Lamont Roach, with legends, trainers, and fighters chiming in. It's clear this isn't just another bout. It's a defining moment. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Will Jake Paul versus Tank Davis ever happen? Or will Roach ruin those plans for good? And don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a boxing update.